Hey, it's your girl KV back with another season of Sistas Reviews. So we're on episode 2 at this point. It was really no point in reviewing episode 1 separately because most of that was just everybody everybody getting interrogated. So this is season 8, episode 1, Dead Man Walking, and episode 2, Tea Time. Like I said, simply the police interrogating everyone about who murked Gary, and then them going home to their spouses being in their homes. I said, have Rich and Tony been around long enough to have keys to Sabrina and Danny's homes? I guess. Andrea was being interrogated the longest, and in walks Robin, acting as her lawyer. Very glad that he is back. Okay, we see Gary's partner Hudson also being interrogated as well, and he's trying to pin it on Andy. And the police is like, well, why would she kill him if she was about to marry him and she could have just waited a week or two and been a widow that would get everything? He ain't got no answer. But somewhere in there, the police officer says to him that Gary ain't really gone. So he rushes to the hospital, and we find out that Gary is still with us. We don't see him. We just know that he was in a coma or something. They had to do some type of surgery, and they thought they lost him. Well, they did lose him for a second, but they were able to bring him back. So that was episode 1. Episode 2. The show starts with Andy and Robin. They are still in the interrogation room. The cop is mad because Andy was about to spill all of the beans before Robin got there. But Robin is now advising her to leave, even though she's like, I came here on my own. He's still like, okay, girl, but you ain't finna be up in here talking without a lawyer. The guy's like, well, she's a lawyer. And he's like, yeah, just like doctors are the worst patients. The cop is trying to talk slick to Robin. No, wait. The cop starts talking slick to Andy. He's like, oh, you like men to treat you like trash, huh? That's why you was gonna marry Gary instead of testifying and da this and da that. She's just like, hey, don't talk to me like that. The cop starts trying to talk slick to Robin. This is probably my favorite part of the episode, y'all. Robin told that man, I know who you work for, and I play golf with the people that they work for. One phone call, and the only thing you'll be investigating is how your career tanked. I said, ooh, well then, just drop it on the table, Robin. Let everybody know how big it is, okay? Man, that cracks me up. But Robin tells her that she needs to go see Gary. And she's like, Gary's alive? And she's like, you made me believe that he was gone. And the cop was just like, yeah, so I could see those fake tears you gave me. And yada this and yada that. Okay, whatever. They leave. They end up going back to her house. And Robin is looking real comfy cozy, y'all. I was cracking up. He's like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself about talking to the cops. You thought that you lost the love of your life. She's like, the love of my life. Here it is, the bane of my existence. He's like, okay, well, why was you about to marry him? She asks how he knew that she was there. He said he got a friend at the bureau that told me that somebody from my firm had been there all morning being questioned. So now she is a bit worried that she won't be getting partner because he's in town, and he's like, yeah, I'm supposed to be helping out since such and such past. She's like, oh, I was supposed to be helping out since such and such past. He's kind of like, oh girl, you good. I already heard about you being recommended by the big suits. Like, you're good. He's like, you're incredible. You're an incredible lawyer. Yeah, lawyer. She's like, oh yeah, or else, you would have said bye before you left. I was like, ooh, let him know. Let him know. Later on, while they at her house still, he mentions that he knew that she was dating Jordan before Gary. She's like, well, she lets him know that getting back with Gary was not a choice. That was not my choice. He's like, okay, so that means he was blackmailing you. What he got on you? That. She's like, listen, I just don't feel like talking about all of that right now. I'm stressed. Another time. He's like, okay, but Jordan, are y'all in love? She's like, yes, I am actually. I need to go see him. And he's like, I can't let you do that. She's like, let me. He's like, as your attorney, you need to go visit your fiance. All eyes are on you. And if it will look real bad on you. And you would very much look like the suspect if you don't even go visit your fiance. Is this thing crooked? Am I saying something to y'all crooked? If you don't even go visit your fiance, you just go to your ex-boyfriend first. Like, no. So she's whining, don't make me go, please. I'm like, girl, hush. She's so annoying. They getting a little flirty and everything, and the girls walk in like, what is this? Girl, we all been getting interrogated all morning about who murked Gary, and Jordan was there, the one that you broke up with to get married to Gary, and now you got your ex here in the old house. Like, girl, what is happening? What is happening? So is Hudson Gary's lover? Because the way he's acting is giving very, very close or very vindictive. I guess we're going to just go for very vindictive. But it's giving, this my boo and I cannot bear to see him lose his life, okay? He seems way more invested than just a business partner. So he's at the hospital. He's asking the doctor to give him the full rundown on what happened with Gary. So like I said, in the surgery, he had a heart attack, left, but they brought him back. He tells him to keep him alive because money is no object and we can't give her the satisfaction. The doctor is like, her? He's like, yeah, his fiance, Andy, she's the one that did this. She probably did this. And I'm just like, oh my God, this man is doing the most. Now Andy finna go up there and they finna be calling security on her, red flagging her. It's just gonna be a real ugly mess. So next we see, well, I don't go in order. But next we're going to talk about Tamara going to see Hayden. She said she heard about Gary getting stabbed on the radio and she want to know if Hayden did it, basically. She's like, I had just told you that we was smashing and then hours later this happens. He says something about, because when she walked in or whatever, he was like, I didn't invite you in my house. She was like, yeah, because you rude and you ain't got no manners. He was like, no manners, but you was the one smashing my best friend. She's like, oh, you poor simp. He was never anyone's friend. I said, thank you, girl. Please give him a reality check. He's trying to assume that it was her. And she's like, I didn't have no reason to kill him. Like, I was just smashing it. He was like, oh, but he looked like he was real abusive in that video. She lets him know that the video was altered to make it look like that. Okay, Tamara with the deep fakes. She seems like she wants to blackmail him or turn him in because she figures it's him. So what happened? What happened before she tried to hit him? I can't remember what happened, but she tries to cock back and slap him. He catches her. She's like, and they kind of have this little back and forth. They have more of a back and forth. But ultimately, of course, they just end up angry smashing. After that, he's acting all lovey-dovey, like they back together. She's all wrapped up in a cover on the couch. He's leaving to go to work. He's making it seem like she is confused looking as well as I am. And I'm like, is he just about to flee right now? Like, what's going on? Now we're going to talk about Zach and Fatima at home. Fatima is getting ready to go to work. She comes downstairs and Zach's got a whole murder board with all the suspects on there. He's like, we got to solve this ourselves because people might think that we did it. She's like, well, why are we on here? And why are you the sex symbol? He got a sexy picture of him on the bed, shirt off. He got a sex symbol picture of himself on there. But she is like, why are we on here? He lets her know that, I can't remember the words he used exactly, but basically they have to have an unbiased analysis. And plus, people think that they about their life. So it's going to be real easy for people to think that it was them. So they need to be able to prove with hard facts that it was not them. Okay, she's like, well, it needs a correction because it's like who killed Gary at the top. And this is the stuff where I'm like, we can tell that Tyler Perry don't let them rehearse in scene, we can tell that they're going straight from table read to to acting it out in that one take, because she goes over and she was like, it said, like I said, who stabbed Gary? That's the question at the top. That's what's written out. She goes and it's like, who tried to stab Gary? And she crosses out, what she crossed out? Killed? Who killed Gary? She crossed out killed and put tried. So who tried Gary? You put an arrow, tried to kill. So that's why I'm like, yeah, that's the stuff that you catch if you let people run their lines more than one time on the set. But hey, this is the little random stuff that I've been noticing. My bad, y'all. He got a little fake knife up there, and he's like, yeah, that's from an old costume that I had. And I'm gonna pin it on whoever the killer is. And he grabs it and he's like, acting like he about to stab her. She was like, ooh, looking like you're working with that knife kind of good, looking kind of guilty. He was like, well, if I did do it, I wouldn't tell you. You looking real suspicious, Zach. You looking real suspicious. We see Karen at home. Pam brings her some coffee and a pastry. I said, ooh, an almond croissant. That do sound good. I would like an almond croissant. And so she's acting like she's there to be helpful, but she really just wants the scoop on the Gary incident. She said, I heard he got stabbed by an angry mob of bridesmaids. I said, not that you're asking if she did it. She is like, girl, I don't want to talk about Gary. I've been talking about Gary all morning. She's like, yeah, that's why I want to help you get it off your chest. And she's like, girl, I'm not about to talk about that. So she's like, well, what do you want to talk about? What else you got going on? She said, work. Let's talk about work. Pam is like, girl, you need a life. She said, just because I don't tell you my business don't mean I ain't got a life. She tells her, organize these boxes. I got them sent here accidentally and not to the shop. Pam said, I am not on the clock, my dear. But she's like, but you said you was going to be helpful. Okay. Well, after we sort this, you better give me all the juicy details. I said, I know that's right, Pam. A favor for a favor, girl. Give me the tea while I'm sorting this stuff, honestly. So afterwards, Pam is about to leave, and she tells her that Miss Willis wants their business plan, and of course she does not have one. She's like, oh, that's the boring stuff. That's your thing. I'm not good at math anyway. Karen sits her down and tells her that a good business plan could mean that you can get grants and other funding and assistance. So Pam is on board to learn the basics about getting a business plan put together. Like I said, Danny gets home and Tony is there. She want to be like this, but he is more worried about her mental. He's like, why do brutal stabbings turn you on? I'm uncomfortable. Tony was not here for it. He tells her that she needs to check up from the neck up and that she needs to call Lucretia, the therapist. So later on, he done made her a full breakfast, waffle, sausage, egg, and fruit, and asked if she's still mad. She says she not. He apologizes and said that he may have overstepped. She says that her mental health journey is hers to dictate. On the flip side, we see Sabrina get home to Rich, and he's there and he's trying to be like that with her. She ain't really going for it. She reminds him that the doctor told her that she would be sore for about 2 weeks after having her eggs harvested. Rich is like, 2 weeks? And then he's like, oh, 2 weeks? Oh, okay. That's nothing. I can basically learn your mind more in these 2 weeks. Okay. He mentioned that he goes to give the sperm for the sample soon. He was like, yeah, so I can give you that baby that you want. And she's just like, I just really felt like when I did have a child, it would be something that we both wanted, not just you trying to do me a favor. He tries to reassure her that things change, people changed, he has changed, and he is now on board with being a dad. She's getting ready for work, and Rich is just like, well, stop stressing over this stupid stuff with your friend who played my friend, and your friend real stupid because she really fell for this fool. He's just ragging on Andy, and Sabrina is getting annoyed because she's like, for one, you don't even know what's going on. Yeah, I get it. She broke up with your friend, so y'all feel like she played him. But it's deeper than that because this guy is crazy and she's tried to kill her before. Like, simmer down, my dear. So she tells him, let's table this conversation because it's not gonna go well. Okay? It's not. So he's like, okay, cool. We'll table this conversation. And that was episodes 1 and 2 of Sistas, not too much going on, but I guess just enough to get us back in the groove. It is going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay? Like, when are we going to see that Gary is awake? We know that he's alive, but when is he going to be like an active role in the season? Is it going to be the next episode? Is it going to be a few more episodes? What is going to be Robin's role? Is he going to be back for good since one of the partners, take the bucket, kick the bucket? Who got Gary? The way that Hayden was trying to flee, because he had a whole suitcase packed up and he was about to leave out the door. Like, he was like stressed and leaving out the door at the episode. I feel like the episode began, or in the beginning part of the episode, we see him kind of having flashbacks of the night, and it kind of alludes to the fact that Hayden did it, but we don't see a scene of who did it to Gary, so we still don't really know. But Hayden was trying to flee, so that's where everybody is kind of thinking there. But I will see y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all. What I'm doing next? Okay, so I just did Love at the Lockup. This is Sistas. Tomorrow I'm gonna do 2 different videos for Grotesquerie, and then I'll be back on track for my regular Real Housewives of Potomac Lockup Sistas thing. But all right, y'all. See y'all on the next one. Bye.